GM, everyone. Hi, G. I'm so
Hi,
excited.
Lena.
Today we have one of my favorite guests, G from thirdweb. Very excited for today's live stream, for today's workshop. You will showcase so much and so many updates and so many cool things. So very excited for that. I will ask you in a second to share all about that. But first of all, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Enjoying the last of the summer in Europe.
Don't
Sad.
remind me. I don't want to go back. I don't want I'm not in Europe right now for everybody who doesn't know. I'm in Ghana at East Accra. It's amazing. It's so much fun. It's so many builders that we have to get like more routers and chairs because there's more builders than expected. So it's really cool.
So cool.
Um and yeah, it's very hot. So I'm not really in the last late summer vibes yet, which I'm very happy
Yeah.
about. But yeah, so great. I just want to before I ask you to give a rundown of what you're going to share, I just wanted to share with everyone a few announcements because very exciting. We have thirdweb is sponsoring this month's Proof of Ship. Proof of Ship 8 has kicked off on the 1st of September. Proof of Ship is our continuous builder program where we distribute 15K Celo every month and through Talent Protocol, through a builder dashboard. And yeah, we're very excited to announce this month the partnership with thirdweb. We, as you know, if you've been following these live streams, you know we love thirdweb. We really enjoy working with you. We think it's great tech and amazing for scaling any kind of applications with your applications. And yeah, we are very excited. If you take part in this month's Proof of Ship, the first 100 builders will get a 2 month starter plan that's like worth $10. So like if you sign up, you will you will reach out and you will receive the code. That 10 projects who are like top growth promising projects selected by us will receive already a 1 month growth plan because the starter plan might be too small for you to test something outside web. And the top 5 projects and the top winners of the month will receive a 6 month worth of credits for 6 months worth of the growth plan. So that's like $600 worth in credits, which I think if you're building, this is incredible and a very amazing price. So very excited and very happy to be partnering. I think Proof of Ship is focused on building sustainable and scaling, and thirdweb is, as I mentioned, incredible partner for scaling. And if you're building long term, you need credits, and I think that's the best thing we can offer to our builders. So thank you so much, G and thirdweb. And yeah. What maybe you can give a very quick intro. What will you share today with the builders?
Yeah. So basically, I'm going to give an overview. Things have been changing a lot at thirdweb. We have been like updating our developer tools. We have a bunch of new things. We have AI. We have APIs. So 1 hour is always short every time we do a workshop. Like it's I don't know where the hour goes, but I'll try and share as much as I can, and I'll give a few tips. I'll share some examples, some repositories that we have at the moment that are very useful for builders to like start building, cloning and start building their own apps. And also I'll go through like our new documentation that have been changing a lot, like our products, everything that we have at the moment. I'll just give like kind of an overview intro. Then we can leave some space for questions or anything like that that people might have at the end. Um, and yeah, I'll be first showing a presentation so I can give the kind of theory of the overview, and then I'll jump into like our dogs, our playground, and I'll jump around into a few things to make it a little bit more dynamic. um but yeah, excited to share everything.
Amazing. Very excited. We also have like just wanted to say hi to some people. We already have a lot of fellow builders here in on YouTube and Twitter. So very excited for everyone. I know a lot of our builders are already using thirdweb. I think so it's super useful also to watch this just to get updates on how to use thirdweb now. Yeah, I think if you start sharing your screen, I can end it and then we can dive right in because as you say, the time is never enough and there's so much to
Yeah,
share.
exactly.
And
So I'll share my screen. um Let me know if you can see it, or maybe you have to
yes, I can
add
see
it
it.
there. Okay. So because I'll be jumping from one tab to the other, just let me know if like anything. Otherwise,
Okay,
it gets
yeah,
a little bit tricky. But you can see the presentation here, right?
I can see. Yeah, I see the presentation.
Okay. So our mission at the moment is basically upgrading like all our tools. I know we're very famous for like contracts, wallet transactions, but like right now we're really trying our best, and the whole team at thirdweb, to make it like as fast as possible for builders to just like build their apps, right? And then not only build their apps but monetize that and scale then their apps. I know cello builders build like really really cool things. It's some of the builders that I've seen like doing really great apps and stuff. So I think this is going to be quite useful. Just for the ones who never heard of thirdweb, we're basically an open source full stack developer platform that you can use as developer tools to like build apps on chain, games, AI agents, bunch of things, DeFi apps, like anything that you can basically imagine. And at the moment, we have a few ways of like, few ways that you can build with us. We have SDKs, right? That we support a few different languages, like common languages like TypeScript, React, Unity, React Native as well, if you're building a mobile app. Um, Unity, Unreal, anyone who's building like gaming, like who's into gaming, these SDKs are really, really powerful as well. Our new addition, it's our new API, and we have a few things that I'll be showing a little bit in detail for this. But like we have a few APIs that are super quick to use, anything to do with for transactions, payment, wallets, like vaults, inside indexers. Our API can cover that, and like you don't even need to install the SDK anymore. It's super fast, and yeah, you can basically use it to build any type of app. But in an overview, yeah, we're completely open source as well. So if you go to our GitHub repositories, everything is like open. You can clone it, you can see our code, which is pretty good. And you can also, if you're into collaborating with open source platforms like us, feel free to open PRs or anything like that, or ask us about collaborating with us. So some of the things I'll be talking about, like onboarding is super important when it comes to building an app. In the web 2 world, usually we onboard with email, with phone. Now in the web 3 blockchain situation, I know everything have been advancing pretty quickly. A few years ago, onboarding people with wallets was pretty hard job, because like many people have no idea of what a wallet is, especially depending on the region, right? Like there's some regions that maybe have more knowledge about wallets and everything to do with blockchain, but like some others really have no idea. And we basically make it super easy to onboard users using like regular web2 authentication, like email, phone, socials, any type of socials, like you name it, like Twitter, Discord, Farcaster, even like anything like that. Pretty easy to install and then onboard people into your app. And we have as well a bunch of different apps, right? Like external wallets as well. So if you want to onboard Web3 people, like we support more than 500 wallets, like MetaMask, Phantom, like Coinbase, everything, right? So it makes it really easy to build excellent UX and pretty fast. Another really great thing that I see apps using a lot is account abstraction, creating a smart account. So basically, you can create any wallet into a smart account and then sponsor the gas fee for your users. So I'll talk a little bit about here. So basically nowadays, like, we have the gas fee, so many times it's kind of a barrier or creates like unnecessary steps for onboarding users, right? So you need to have a user to sign up with a wallet. Also, this user needs to have some funds in order to pay for gas. So this is basically solved by using our gasless sponsorship features, where you basically use, depending on the chain, you use the paymaster of the chain, like Celo, and you can sponsor gas for your users, which makes it like super easy for onboarding. So people just have to log in. They can use an email. You can sponsor gas for them, and then they don't need to pay for any gas transaction or anything. So it would make it super smooth. UX wise would be amazing, and I really recommend exploring our account abstraction features and products. And this goes as well for gaming, minting, like mobile apps, DeFi apps, everything to do with that. We also have a new payment API, which is the way that you have to go for monetizing your apps and products. We have like some core APIs that I'll be showing the library in a moment. But basically, you can create payments, complete payments, swap tokens, do a bunch of things. All this API, you can use it with any language really, and programmatically basically integrate with your app. You can see an example there, like /v1 payments. That's all you have to do to basically create a payment in your app, and then support all different type of flows. It could be smart wallets, it could be external wallets. You could sponsor gas sponsorship for your apps, and you don't even need to install libraries or anything. Like, just by using the API, it makes it super easy to monetize your apps. If you're selling products, if you're doing like a DeFi app that you need to do a bunch of transactions or token sales, anything to do with that. And then together with that, it goes transactions. So transactions is more of a backend thing. Maybe many of you use Engine. We used to have a product called Engine, which is now called transactions. So if you're confused, like what happened with Engine, well, now it's called transactions. So look for in our documentation for transaction. Um, Same, you can do a bunch of things. This is a great tool because you can, batch transactions and do a bunch of transactions in a minute, in seconds. I really recommend exploring this, especially for people building games or DeFi apps where you have like transactions happening constantly. And you can create basically what we call server wallets with your secret key, that I'll be showing how to get your secret key in our thirdweb dashboard. You can authenticate users, sponsor gas, everything that I've been like talking about. You can do it kind of like in the back end of things, with what we call server wallets, and you can, basically manage them for users. And you can also, have like a monitoring, confirmation, a status of the transaction, everything to do with that, and like monitor all of that. I just put an example here. Of how to do like a post transaction, and that will return, basically track and monitor this transaction, which is great when you're building, especially like an app that needs to scale and have like a bunch of data. This is a great tool to use. Then the classic contract, we have like a lot of pre-built contracts at thirdweb, which is great. People use them a lot. They're very, very handy because, there's two ways of deploying contracts at thirdweb. You can basically do it no code. You can sign up on our dashboard and like deploy a contract directly from the dashboard without having to do any code. But you can also do it by code with our CLI, just by doing like thirdweb deploy and choosing the exact contract that you want. So we have a bunch of contracts. I'll be showing you like a little bit of our library, but Usually we cover like all the standard ones, like ERC20 if you want to do like tokens. We have like NFT contracts, marketplaces, a bunch of things are there, really, really great. Um, Also available in our API to programmatically deploy if you're even like doing an app that deploys contracts in the UI. This is a great thing to test. This is kind of how it looks, our library, but I'll show it like live so it's a little bit better. And this is just an image of like our CLI and how would it look when you're basically deploying contracts by code on your local machine, which is pretty handy as well for the ones who are into contract basically development. I would recommend to see our open source contract repository, because you can even customize the contracts. I know we have like pre-built contracts that are already like ready to go. But if you're into like, I want to explore more, I want to know how to like change a function or add different rules to the contract, you can do so. You can customize our contracts and then deploy them and verify them, and they will appear in our dashboard as well. So from here, I'm going to jump into a little bit of our docs, because I want to give people an overview of our docs. Our docs have been changing a lot. So as I mentioned before, for the ones who like are used to thirdweb and now it's like, what's this new thing? We have like new naming, new kind of style. And now we're focusing a lot on our API, which is super fast, by the way, like very, very fast. I recommend it. So you can see in our docs, we have like everything to do with wallets, payments, transaction, contracts, token, Inside, which is an indexer that is really great. And you can explore there, like obviously every developer, one of the first things that we need to do anyway is like read documentation, right? Like in order to kind of like get a sense of what the technology is, like just go and read the documentation. Like we have a lot of details there, like user wallets, server wallets, everything, you name it, sponsor gas. And also we have basically examples of how to start using it. So you can see here, we have like the API example, like fetch and responses, which is great because you can just try it on. And then, as I mentioned before, we have other languages that we support. So we have like TypeScript, React. If you're into gaming, we have Net, Unity, and a bunch of other things, right? Then when it comes to contracts, which is something that people use a lot, like obviously if you're building something on chain, usually you need to deploy a bunch of contracts. So this is the way to go. It's the same, right? Like we have our API, super easy to read contracts, interact with them, deploy them, write contract. And we have so many examples there. And then if you want to use our SDK, which the SDK is great, by the way, as well, you can just run, npm or whatever library you use to install thirdweb, and you will get everything that you need from our developer tools to use them and use all the functionalities that we have here. All you have to do is to get a client ID, and I'll be showing how to get your client ID. It's pretty easy. You just need to log in into thirdweb and get this would be like your API key, basically. We just call it client ID. So once you initialize like the client, you are able to do every type of thing. Like, when it comes to contracts, you can deploy, read contracts, interact with the contracts. And when it comes to wallets, the same. Like if you're building an app with thirdweb, you always have to initialize that client. Or you can alternatively use our API, but you also need your API keys. Tokens, kind of like what I was talking about before. So we have a bunch of tokens and contracts that are already pre-built, so you can explore them here. We have like, the classic 721 ERC, a classic NFT collection. We have like 1155. If you're looking to deploy like different type of like ERC20s, we also have that, and they're all pre-built, which is pretty handy. And this is the page of the contract. So it's called like Explore Popular, thirdweb.com. But basically in here, you can explore like all the contracts that we have. and you can basically do it from our own dashboard. Like if you're not into like deploying on your local machine or something, like you can just deploy the contract and then interact with the contract on your own app. So you can see we have like kind of the most popular ones, or the industry standard ones. Like we have like NFT drops, marketplaces, account factory, a bunch of things that you can kind of explore and see. These are the popular ones, but yeah, you can go here and you'll see like all the ones that we have and explore them. So another thing I wanted to show, first I'll go through our dashboard a little bit, because I feel like this can be somehow confusing when people come in the first time, or also when people are used to the old thirdweb. But all you have to do is like go to thirdweb.com and log in to your account. I'm gonna log into my account here quickly. And you'll get like this code. Obviously, you can log in like however you want. You can use like MetaMask or other wallets or other social logins as well. Okay, I don't know why it's not logging me in. I'll log in with MetaMask. So once you log in, you'll see that you have like the team overview. That's the first thing that you're going to see. And basically the way we work at the moment is like by teams or by projects. So you have your team, maybe this is empty, or maybe you already have, a few projects that you're working on. You can create as many projects as you want, really. And that's the way you get your API key. So this is pretty important for the ones that are building with thirdweb for the first time. So I'll just do this for testing. Testing with Cello. So you just name your project. In here, you can allow all domains. We recommend to like not allow all domains, to actually put your domain there just for security, but just for the sake of the workshop, I'll do allow all domains. Also, if you're just like building your app and testing, like allow all domains will be completely fine. So once you do that, you click on create and proceed. And then boom, you get your API keys, right? So you can see that we're getting a client ID and a secret key. The way it works is usually client ID goes in the front end. So anything that you're doing in the front end, could be authentication, could be onboarding with social logins or anything, you will use the client ID. And anything that you do in the backend, like maybe you're using the indexer, maybe you're doing transactions, which used to be called engine, you need to use your secret key. So basically what you need to do is like save these, don't expose your secret key in your apps, try to make them really safe, have a backend or some way of like saving them. But once you save them, you confirm that, and then you can go ahead and go to your project. And this is kind of how the project overview looks like, right? So I know it's like a lot of information here. You have like your client ID that you can always copy, and you have your secret key that you can rotate in the case that you lost the secret key. Then even here, we explain a little bit of how to initiate in your app, create the client and use the client ID and the secret key. You can even use both to initiate our tools, and then be able to use like every type of thing, like transaction, contracts, like all type of things. You can see in the left menu that we have everything that I've been naming. This is actually great if you're building an app. You have so much visibility on like, active users, new users. You will have here like unique users and graphics that show you how your app is doing. I feel like this is one of my favorite features, because like when you have an app, you want to have a visual, you want to see what's happening with your app, who is connecting to your app, how many users you have. So like this is great. And also, not in this example because it's empty, but you will see every single user listed here the address of the user, whether that's an external wallet, when was created, and the login method. For example, if it's like by email or by external wallet or by Twitter, you will see the login method here. And that's super useful when you're building an app, trying to not only building an app, if you're building a startup, if you're trying your project to go bigger, to scale, this is really, really great. So the same goes for transactions and everything. We have like really updated graphics and data that we're showing nowadays in the dashboard, which I recommend to explore and connect with that. You can create like server wallets and you can see all the transaction history just here. In contracts, basically this is where you can deploy contracts. So you can see you have the option like deploy contract here, and it brings you to these two options, or you can select one of the other options that we have. So let's say you're trying to launch ERC20, right? You just need to like basically follow the steps. So like it will say like create a coin, you upload the name of your coin, you know, whatever it is. You can choose your chain. Celo is in there as well. I don't think I have credits for, but yeah, Celo is in there. And then you can see your coin distribution. This is great. Like if you're creating some sort of like tokenomics or something, like this is where you can kind of set up the supply, the pricing, follow all the steps, even do airdrops, and you will have your token distribution there.
Wow, that's amazing. I didn't know.
Yeah,
Sorry, I need you to be sharing so much information, but I feel like it's.
No, I know. Probably I'm going super fast.
Is this a new feature that you have
Yeah,
where you can launch your own coin?
This is pretty new. Like we used to have it before, but now it's like much better, you know, and much easier to use. And yeah, you can basically create your own currency, you know, your own cryptocurrency or ERC20 or your meme coin for the people who are into meme coins. And just by following the steps, choosing your chain, you know, choosing your liquidity, boom, you can do that. And the same you can do for NFT collections. So anything to do with like creating an NFT collection, it's pretty much the same. You just need to fill up the metadata, the data that you need, testing, whatever name that you want, the chain, and yeah, you just like basically fill up your NFTs. You can do it by creating like a single NFT, or you can create multiple NFTs. And the same, you will put your supply, different rules. Actually, I think I have some contracts here that I can kind of show just for the sake of showing how it looks. But once you deploy the contract, this is how like the contract page overview will look like, right? So first you have the name of the contract, the chain, the address of the contract, the scan, the explorer that you can go through. And on the left menu, you have a bunch of things. So you can see your NFTs. And this is all like no code. So it's super easy to just like deploy a contract. And then when you're building your app, all you have to do is like interact with that contract and with the contract address. So yeah, you can see like your NFTs, your claim conditions that, by the way, you can basically expand this. You can make it public, you can make it private, you can have like an allow list, you can do a bunch of things. So this is for contracts. I'll go back a little bit. And then the kind of the other ones is the ones I mentioned. So if you can create like a payment link, which is pretty cool. Basically here, you can create a payment link that you can use. Celo should be here. Celo. But I don't think I have any tokens, so I won't be able to create this. Let's say 0.
I can send you tokens if you want. You can DM me.
Oh no, I was able to create it. So
okay, perfect.
Basically, this is super cool. So basically, you create a payment link, right? you add the recipient, like the address, and then you can copy this link and send it to someone, and they will be able to use it for payment, you know. And it should look like this. Look how cool this is. So basically, if I share this with you, you can just like follow the steps here and pay me, you know, and that would
Okay.
get into my wallet. So it's
So,
kind of like requirement. Like if you want to require a payment from someone, you can like just go to our dashboard and create a payment link, like I just did. Payment link, the recipient address, the chain, everything, the amount, like it could be one, could be 20, whatever. And then it creates this link that you can share with people. Super useful. Like imagine if you're doing a job and you just want to get paid with crypto or with Cello. You create your link there and then share with whoever it's paying you, and they can just like connect their wallet and pay you, which is pretty cool thing that we have now as well. Um, so as for payments, as well as creating like payment links, which is like super easy, you can earn fees. We have like a bunch of components when it comes to building your app further, right? And I'll try and show some examples of that. And for tokens, kind of what I was showing, like you can create your own coin, and similar to what I showed before, but you can create your own ERC20. You can create your collections, like just by following a few steps, filling up the form, and paying the gas fee. You'll create your tokens and have them here. Quickly, I'll mention this, but basically for scale, which is what I was kind of talking about before as well, for scale, inside is our indexer, which is really good. Basically, you can index a blockchain super quickly. So, you know, that works for like rendering, for example, for a marketplace that you need to render like different collections, index like wallet, like list of wallets of owners or anything like that. I recommend to check out Inside. We have some live examples here that I'll be showing. So basically, this is our playground. I recommend everyone go and explore our playground. Um, Everything that I've been talking about, like wallets, transactions, payments, all of that, you can try it on live in our playground. So you just need to go in here, for example, for Inside, and I want to know, I don't know, I want to get a collection. So I'll go here and then add any collection of an like any NFT collection, you know, add the chain ID, whether that's a collection in Cello, you'll add Cello, and run. And what it does is just index that information and it brings a response to you. Um, in the playground is obviously just like a visual, so you can see the data is it's real. But if you want to use it on your own app, we have an API that works with that. I'm gonna close a few things so I don't get confused. But here in our documentation, you can see we have a tab for our API. So I'll show a bit of this, which I think it's important. Um, for example, for the indexer, this will be the API, right? And you can kind of explore here what you can do with this, right? So you can get like wallet transactions, you can get tokens, tokens by owners, anything that you want. You need the data from the blockchain and you want to get that data fast and then render that data in your app. Just check out Inside, super quick, super great to use. And in our API reference, you can kind of see this and test live as well. You can like kind of test different things there. You will see that we always ask for a client ID and your secret or your secret key. So that's what I show at the beginning. So, you know, I recommend if you don't have an account with us, just go to thirdweb.com, log in, create an account, whichever you want. You can use your wallet, you can use, you know, email. I usually use email because it's just like quicker. Um, and once you create that, well, I already showed that, but once you create that, you'll have your client ID that you can use for all our products. So yeah. And then the other API that I referenced that I wanted to show, which is pretty new, It's our thirdweb API. That's how we're calling it. Basically, in here, you can do so many things that we used to only rely on our SDK, and now you can do it on our API. One thing that I can say is I've been testing this in the last few days or few weeks since we got it out, and it's super fast, super quick. You know, you can just like create a wallet super quick, initiate like authentication really quick, and all the references are here. So again, you can go there by just going to our documentation, APIs, and then API here. So you will get to our reference. And in there, so classic thing that you need to do first for onboarding users into your app would be like initiating like authentication. So we have a bunch of things for that to complete authentication, anything to do with social login. So you know we support every type of social login pretty much. And then you can explore other things like get my wallet, get a list of users. You know, like if you have a bunch of users in your app and you want to get a list of those users. So just go and explore that. Very complete, very good. I've seen, I'm going to show some examples, but I've seen people building like games, DeFi apps, really simple, like NFT, minting pages, marketplaces, and it's very, very good. Um, as I was showing in our playground, in here, for example, if you want to see, like, okay, I don't know exactly how to onboard my users yet, I would say explore the playground and, you know, to have a sense, to have an idea of the components that we have at the moment. So you can see, for example, here, this is our classic connect model, where users can onboard by email, by connecting a wallet. And you can see I just connected my wallet, and you know you can send, receive, you can manage your wallet as well, you can link other profiles to your wallet. So it's pretty complete and very, very good. You can also explore in the playground. For example, you see in this model we have like a bunch of social logins like Telegram, Farcaster, but maybe your app doesn't need that. You can actually, you know, untick this here. So let's say, you know, I just want people to log in with email, and that's it. Email and wallet, that's all I need. Then you can do that. And the cool thing is that here in this top menu here, you can then see the code. So basically, the component is called connect button. So you can see the component here. We're initializing our client, which is here. This is something that you always need to do. And then for the authentication option, I'm only choosing email, but you can add other things, and the code will show you. So it's kind of easy because you can kind of like grab this snippet and then put it in your app and do that. So
Can I
yeah,
just ask one question? Because
yeah, yeah, yeah.
this is one of my favorite parts of the playground, because I feel like getting your user onboarding right is so crucial for like maintaining users. It's like the first step where you can lose them. But did you, because you have so many options, what's your advice on like a maximum amount of like login options? Because I can imagine some people just overload it with all options, and that might be a bit too much. Like, what is there like any your user experience recommendation or something that you've seen that was like way over the top?
Yeah, definitely using like all of these methods might be like too overwhelming. So if you can see here, if I select everything, it's like, oh my God, like so many things. But my advice is like it really depends of the app, right? Like depends of the concept of the app, what's the purpose of it, if it's gaming, if it's DeFi. My recommendation would be like keep it as simple as possible, because you want people to onboard in only like one or two steps, you know? So if you have like a model that is like full of options and people are not so used to that, they might get confused. So my recommendation, like choose one or two methods that you really want, or maybe depending on your users base, you know, or users audience. Like let's say if you have users in Farcaster, okay, maybe add that option. But email is the classic one. And I feel like email, everyone knows email, right? So for me, email is my favorite method of onboarding people, because like even people that have no idea about crypto have an email. So that's the easiest way of onboarding people. Just select email and that's it.
I feel like another risk here is also like, maybe you can explain me how it works under the hood. But if there's too many options, when next time I come back to your app, I will have forgotten which login I used, and then with like each login, in case like maybe inside of the app you can link it or something. But if you log in with different methods, you create different accounts, right? And then like all your information is just spread all over. And I feel like I run into that constantly with like apps that have too many options, and they're like, "Oh, none of my data is here. Which account did I use to log in?" And yeah,
Yeah, that's true. That happens a lot to apps as well that have too many options, and then like the user themselves are like lost into like which is my account, or I don't remember which method I used to log in, you know. So that's why I think choosing like one or two is the best, because you know it's kind of like to the point, it's easy to onboard, and people won't get lost. Like let's say if you just have email, then it's like okay, everyone knows that they're logging in with email. But at the same time, is what you're saying, like it really depends on the app, the user base, like if they're used to web3, if they're not used to web3, if they are into like Discord or Farcaster. um it will really depend on the app model, like the business model, or whatever they're trying to achieve with onboarding people. um but yeah, I would say keep it simple, because I think onboarding is definitely the most important thing. Like every app that you go, you have to log in somehow, and I think that's the most important part of the app, is like a very seamless, easy to do onboarding. And if you're looking to have users that are not web3 native, I would say in-app wallet is your way to go, because like, you know, we even have like SMS as well. So like if you're into, you know, people use phone a lot in my country, like okay, maybe that would be the best method then. Phone number, you get a code, and that's it, you know, easy, and people are used to that kind of thing.
just doesn't work if your clients travel a lot, because they might not be able to like log in when they travel.
That's true.
So
That's true. That has to be
so
more
in
of a
Web,
local thing.
don't do that in Web3.
For some people, it's very used to, because some regions use phone numbers a lot. And if the app
Yeah,
is just going to be used in that region, like people rather just
yeah,
log in with their phone numbers. So
yeah,
it really depends.
yeah.
Um, so yeah, we don't have much time. You see, everything always goes super fast. But I want to show this quickly, a few examples. So I don't know if you guys have been using Cursor, but I'm very into Cursor at the moment.
Yeah.
Um, you can see my code, right? Because sometimes the
Yeah,
screen
but
becomes.
like, it would be good if you zoom in a bit. Right now, I don't really see what I see, that there's code, but I don't see more. So
Oh,
if you can zoom
how do I
in,
zoom in? I don't actually
Command
know
plus,
how.
Command plus.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I think I zoom in too much. Can you kind of see it there?
yeah, that's perfect. That's good.
Yeah, so this is an app I built today, like literally, I don't know, I'm gonna say 20 minutes, because there was some errors and stuff, but like I built it under an hour, like literally 20 minutes. And all I did is use our API references, right? You can see here that I'm using my secret key and my client ID, both of them, because we're using like front end and back end. And also, I'm using some of the APIs that I mentioned. So I'm doing like authentication, um, complete authentication, a bunch of things. I'll share this code actually, because I think it's very good for like onboarding. I'm doing like wallet, just simple. The whole purpose of this app is to onboard people into my app, right? So this is just the code. I'll be sharing it so you can kind of explore it, and you can even clone it and make it your own. But this is how it looks. Not this. Wait, I need to go into another. I have it here. Um, yeah, I actually even like put it in Verso. So if anyone wanna try it on, I deploy that GitHub repository in Vercel so I can share it. Um, but this is such a simple app. So in here, all I do is like I'm onboarding people into my app. I'm only using email, as you can see, only using email. And I get the code, put up the code here. Oh, let me try again. Actually, let me try this one that is running, just in case. Local 300 email. Classic that I'm showing something and it's not working.
It would not be a workshop if it would work.
Oh, right? Why always
Yeah.
that happens?
I
Amazing.
never had a workshop where like things work completely.
Actually, I want to open the console so you see I have some logs here from the API just to show you. And let's see if it's working. Yeah, this one worked. Um, so you can see I'm actually like console logging a bunch of things because I wanted to show in this demo. But I'm kind of console logging if the API is working, if I'm getting the wallet, if everything, right? And I can actually see all the
Can you
information
zoom in a bit more? Sorry.
in the console log or everywhere.
Yeah, no, the console. That was perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, so this is just like a bunch of console logs that I did just to see what I'm doing when I'm building. And you can basically see like the token that I pass for the authentication. You can see it's a new user, it's not a new user because I already log in into this app. You can see the type of method that I use, which is email. If you're using different methods, it will say here. Um, and yeah, like this is just a bunch of logs to, because this is like a demo and a testing app. I like, having logs to kind of see what I'm building and see if the API is working, if it's successful. For example, in here is saying like, okay, yeah, success, you have your result, the address, it was created, blah, 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 the public key. So it's a good way of basically when you're building, use logs. And then for the app, yeah, I already like log in with my email, right? And all I'm showing is basically the wallet address, which is a smart wallet because I log in with my email and it creates a smart wallet for that email. Um, and I'm just rendering random information, but this would be useful if you're building an app and you want to render that user information. So I'm rendering like which email, which profile is it, when it was created, the wallet address, all of that. And then cool thing is, for example, in here you can manage your users from your app. So if you have like a bunch of users and you want to manage them or have visibility of like who is logging in into your app and everything. So I have here like user management, all users. So in this app, I have 2 users, which is just myself with 2 different emails. Um, but if you have a list of users, it would like you can display it whatever way you want. But like I'm just displaying it this way, but it's super super useful. You display the address, any type of information, the email. You can also find a user if you're trying to see like, okay, I need to find like a user, I don't know where it is. Okay, this is not working. Great, but whatever, you see that it was working.
Yeah.
um so that's one app I just built like literally under 20 minutes today. And I have the repo here. I will share all these links after. And for example, for this, you can just go and clone it if you're trying to onboard users or you want to do something similar. And I have like a little bit of an explanation of how it works here. Um, and before we finish, I want to show you a few other great examples that we have that builders can use to build their apps. This is done by our engineers. They did like a hack week, maybe like 2 weeks ago, and some of them build like really cool apps using our API. The README is pretty good. Like it tells you what it does. And for example, this one I think is really really cool. I think Cello builders will like it, but basically creates invoices to get paid instantly. So you can create an invoice, get a QR code, and then in real time track that payment basically. So if you have a shop, if you know, I don't know, any type of app, a DeFi app or anything that you need to create invoices, go and check this out. Like it's super cool. The like I said, the code is completely open source. You can clone it, you can make it your own. Check it out. The other cool, this one is one of my favorites, I have to say. This one is very creative. It's a real time pixel art platform. So basically, how it works is like you log in. So you can see that I'm already logged in here. You log in and you kind of like play around. This is just for like playing around. This is like when you paint or something. But if
I
you're like
like
into
that.
art, you probably like this, Lina. If you're into art or something and you want to do like cool art things, um, so yeah, you just kind of like place these, select a color. I already selected. Anyway,
This is so
I won't
cute.
spend too much time here. But what you do is like you place that. I think I already placed it here somewhere. I This is mine, and you can play around with your friends on it, and all it happens is like you earn coins every time that you place pixels. So basically every time that you place a pixel it will give you a coin, and then you collect all those coins and then you can withdraw that. Pretty cool app.
And
Also
and
open
if you want
source.
to build something on top, you can, for example, do this game where like every day you can only place like 10 pixels and then like come back to make like a new and then zoom out and oh, it's so cute. I like it.
It's super cute. I recommend to try it on.
Yeah.
I was spending a lot of time when it first came out. And it's a super cute app if you're, like I feel like it's artsy, like if you're into art and you want to do something like not so related to payments and stuff, this is a good example of it. And it tells you how to install everything that you need to do to like clone the repo and make it your own as well, all open source. And the last one I'll show is this amazing game that one of our engineers built with our API. Um, Really, really complete game. Also, in the README, you have all the instructions, all open source. I won't play it because, like, it probably takes some time, but you can also go to the deployed app and try and play for a bit. This is a great way of, like, again, if you're into gaming and you want to just build a fun game that people earn tokens, people are interactive with your app. Like, this is a really good start point to do. Like, you can kind of see how things are built, everything that, in terms of components, API. I believe this is using like all API. So you can see like the architecture of the API here. Um, and super easy to use. Um, I'll also share all these links so if you're trying to build something or you just want to give it a go, you can just go and clone the repo there.
And we will
Um,
add them also to the YouTube video, so you can find them below if you're watching that as a YouTube video.
Perfect. So yeah, I think I cover a lot. Um,
So
I'll
much.
I'll leave it at
That's
that because
amazing.
yeah, go and create your payment links. I think this is one of the coolest thing, and give it to Lina so she can pay you. But yeah, just
Okay.
last thing would be like our socials. If you want to follow thirdweb, we have a Telegram group that it's like our official Telegram group where we have all the community there, like discussing their projects or like anything. We have a bunch of news that we give out there. We have a YouTube channel as well with a bunch of tutorials and stuff that can give you an idea of how to build with Terweb. Obviously, our Twitter account that we are active in there, and well, LinkedIn if you want to be more professional. Um, and everything that I mentioned before, which is like our documentation, playground, everything to like that, and our GitHub. Definitely go to our GitHub, this one that I was showing here, um, Web examples, and you'll go to the repositories and see all the examples that I just shared. But I will share the exact ones because we have too many. Some of them are outdated. I'll share the ones that we have like more up to date, so you can kind of explore and play around with them. But yeah, I'll leave it there.
Thank you so much. I think this was super informative for people who want to understand like what does thirdweb do. I think they have a pretty good overview now. And yeah, I think also for everybody who already built, they know how to update. If you're building any application, I think thirdweb is an amazing developer suite with, as you could see, you can just like use one thirdweb API and you don't even need to build your own backend or anything. You can just like use that. I mean, I think it's crazy how much you can abstract already and how simple building has become compared to like my first hackathon 3 years ago or something. So
Yes, same. I wish I had the tools that we have now. And the vibe coding, we have checkout. I think I forgot to mention, but we have an AI tool that are pretty cool. So anyone who's vibe coding using Claude or Cursor, you can basically inject our documentation into that, and the building is like super quick, with our API and everything.
Amazing. That's so cool. Perfect. Yeah, let's add that to the links as well. Yeah, thank you so much, Chief, for joining today. A reminder to everyone, if you thought that was like amazing and you want to integrate that web into your app, make sure to test it out with taking part in proof of ship. And yeah, if you will win proof of ship, you get 6 months of growth plan, which is a very amazing offer. In case you joined late, this is what you can win this month on proof of ship. And there's like more. There's like a 5K prize pool and so on. You can find all of that in the Cello Devs Twitter account in the top hint in the top. But and then 1 second, and here you can just like scan this QR code if you want to sign up for proof of ship. And that's all from my side. G, thank you so much. I wish you a lovely day.
You too. Enjoy Ghana.
And thank you so much. Bye bye. Thank you.
Bye everyone.